folks, Dude here, and well, obviously I got the Frankensteiner knocked out. I've got no ongoing gun projects, and I gotta go pick up another thing at the post office for another tune-up job on another Marlin, but beyond that, I need a gun project. So, what gun project probably could come to mind and would be cool? Well, I was looking at Sturmgewehr's videos about the SCAR versus the ACR, and I was like, yeah, well, I need gun projects, and this actually was screw up on my part. Now, in my state of residence, it's completely anus in one regard. You've got waiting periods. You can do multiple purchases, but then it locks you in for 2 months. Well, what did I do? I basically bought one, waited a month, bought another, and what did I buy? Okay, well, basically, if you look at the firearms market, it's either completely hell-bent for leather or it goes absolutely nowhere. And I know I'm basically showing you an empty screen here. There's going to be more stuff. Stand by 1 second. It's going to be cool. I know you guys hate when there's just nothing going on screen, but stand by for just a second. It'll pick up in just a moment. All right, now, essentially, the market basically, it meanders. It either goes hell-bent for leather when some piece of politician goes in office, and of that I shall say no more. And basically, the market either wanes or it's completely hell-bent for leather. Okay, now what did I see that was really attracting my interest? Alright, I go through the Brownells catalog and I'm looking over it. I'm going, damn, that's a cool piece of kit. I really should get one of those. So, I did. And the price that I see in the Brownells catalog is sub $150 for basically a really cool piece of kit. Namely, it removes 4 or 5 parts from the equation and makes one big part. Basically, it's the best part of combining a Glock with the polymer furniture with, well, oh hell, well, I'll just simply show you what I got. Alright, case in point, in the Brownells catalog, it's $140 plus shipping. I got into this for $140, no shipping. That's right, Cav Arms. Lower. Let me draw back just a bit so you guys can take it into full appreciation here. Now, essentially what this is 2 halves of polymer that they weld together down a common seam, whoops, dropping stuff. Excuse me. Dropping stuff. Okay, down a common seam. So essentially, what you've done now is you got polymer furniture that has a very strong weld down the middle. Druthers? Yeah, there's a couple things. You can't change the grip out unless you want to cut it off and do a whole bunch of chop socky on it and what have yous, and it ain't going to work. The pins are not captured. The pins are basically just pins with a ball bearing on the end that's spring-loaded and holds it in place. That's probably going to be a retrofit. I'm probably going to do some cross bolts and go from there. But it is a very cool-looking piece of kit. All right, now, that's very cool, $140. Place I went to is kind of one of my very not primary stops, and I know the guy, he's a bit of a curmudgeon, and yeah, we have dealt in the past, but he's a curmudgeon, okay? I'm going to leave it at that. He's very unusual. It's a very strange bird, and he's a weird dude, okay? I'm going to leave it at that. All right, let me draw back. I'm not getting the best angle on this one here. Yeah, that's maybe a little better. Okay, let me go with that. Okay, so basically I got the one Cav Arms lower. Notice it deletes the wrist sling swivel. It's all one piece. It is polymer, and it's been sonically welded. What they do is they put the one half down on a table. I don't know exactly how it works. They put the other half down on top. They put a device on top of that, and it vibrates the thing ultrasonically and creates such friction that these 2 halves are now welded in such a fashion that they ain't ever coming apart. In terms of the actual hands-on, it's not perfect. I mean, you can definitely see the seam down the middle. It's not exactly the prettiest thing made, and it will work. Cool part about it is it takes carbine buffers, takes carbine springs, and all the lock work and everything is exactly M16/AR-15. But you notice, though, the pocket is not cut for M16. That is definitely an AR-15 pocket, because the selector pin is captured. You have to go from the top, see the little itty bitty hole. So basically, you have to put everything together, and you might have to chop some springs and make some stuff work. And you need to do some modifications. You got to know what you're doing. You might have to play a bit with the spring that is for the takedown. I'm sorry. Have to play with the spring for the hold open. Might have to do some modifications on existing parts. Not a deal breaker. The cross pin basically is the cross pin. Nothing crazy there. Basically takes about 90% of the same components. Slight modifications on the springs. Not a deal breaker. $140. I'm like, damn, that's a pretty cool piece of kit. Lost having to put the grip on there. Lost having to put the stock on there. There is a 5/64. Let me see if I can show you with this detail. That little hole right there is for a 5/64 roll pin that takes the place of the pin that went from the back of the spring, buffer, what have yous. And, there was a hole in the back of the receiver, and there was a plate, and all these parts have been deleted. So basically, you've lost 4 or 5 parts. You got to get the roll pin that goes into place and holds in the buffer retaining pin. Not a deal breaker. Might have to do some modifications, make all these parts fit. Like I say, not a deal breaker. $140 for basically the better part of a polymer lower. Very cool piece of kit, right? Well, I'm looking around in dude's case. He's got the one. What else did he have? Well, this one's in black, obviously. And I'm looking around. He had another one in desert tan. That's right. I now got 2 distinctly AR-15s for under $300. Pretty cool. That's not all, folks. But wait, there's more. I'm looking at this tan one, and what came with it? Well, obviously, the buffer and spring. What else came with it? Obviously, and pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to use this. I may simply just use standard furniture, but it is kind of cool that it came with it. The handguards also came with this. So basically, I got the better part of an assload of stuff for not a whole hell of a lot of coin. Now, here's the thing. Cav Arms basically got raided by BATF, and the company is no longer an existing entity. They still make stuff, but they don't make these lowers anymore. They're gone. Supposedly another company did buy up all the works and all the tooling and all that good stuff, and basically going from there. Now, the cool thing is, you still can get these things serviced. You still can find the parts on them. It's going to take a little while for the new guys to get it back up to snuff and in operation. Let me see if I can give you a better view here and maybe do a little zoom in. Hang on one second here. Let me play with the camera. And you know what? That's maybe just a little bit better of an angle. All right. In terms of detail, let me play with my tripod again. Excuse the bad anglage. In terms of detail, perhaps it might be easier to see better on the tan versus the black. Because it's polymer, you're really not doing a whole hell of a lot of difference there. But what these guys did was they thought things through. They said, okay, high stress areas need to be stronger. They beefed it up. Stuff that doesn't need to be stronger, they thinned it down. The ergonomics on this thing are incredibly cool. I put together this thing with one of my uppers, read like the Colt 16 762 by 3.9 upper. This thing points, it points like a big-ass BB gun. I mean, the ergonomics on this thing are going to be amazing. What's it going to shoot like? I don't know. I'm going to have to put it together, and this is down the road a little ways, and I don't want to let out, too much information, but just wait. There's going to be some very, very cool stuff coming down the pike, and it has to do with polymer. Of that, I cannot say anything, because this is very proprietary, industrial secret type stuff, and I can't get into it. But I have been made known about, just keep your eye out for cool polymer stuff, and that's all I'm going to say, cool polymer stuff coming out down the pike. And this is very behind-the-scenes stuff. These guys like me, and they've told me some stuff, so I'm getting a little bit of behind-the-scenes information, and stand by. It's going to be very, very cool. Let's just say that, well, they're one of my subscribers, I'm one of their subscribers, and I'm now towing, close to almost 1,500, and I don't want to let out any more information than that, but dude's cool. Dude's exceedingly cool. Stand by on that one, definitely. All right, so basically, here's what I got. I got 2 more gun projects, and I now could use some parts kits. I now could use some parts. Okay, if you have some spare AR-15 lower parts, give me a yell. Maybe we could do some horse trading. Stand by for other cool stuff coming down the pike. And, well, always here on the 80s Podcast channel, I will keep you guys up on all the cool stuff coming down the pike before it happens or when it happens. And watch out for zombies. That's why I'm building these things. Ugh, bad dudes. All right, folks, here on the 80s Podcast channel, as they see it, as always, always.